districts of these states. I mean, how insidious can you get?
As I say, the pain is just tremendous for our people, I think. I want to change direction, if you will, just for a minute. As someone who has been sitting in that prison for 30 years, could you tell us why the death penalty is a form of cruel and unusual punishment?
Well, there are many reasons. It is racist, but also it is legally built on a fallacy. That is to say, if a prosecutor announces he or she is going for a death penalty, something happens in that case that happens in no other case in American law, or really global law. They're able to select what is called a prosecution-prone jury. That is, a jury who, having heard not one word of legal fact, has decided before they are sworn in as jurors that they could return a death penalty. If someone has a question and says, well, maybe yes, maybe no, they're removed. If someone says, certainly, I don't believe in it, they're removed. And there have been several highly regarded legal studies and scholarly studies on this by sociologists and psychologists and whatnot. And they found that these jurors are far more prosecution-prone, far more willing to convict, and far less willing to give the legal entitlements to which an accused or a defendant is supposed to have. What that means is the prosecutor is able to get far more first-degree murder convictions, and therefore able to, after that, turn around and go for a death penalty than they could have if they had a juror who is really a cross-representation of the community. See? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. And we have seen and talked, you can't hear us necessarily up there, but about that kind of injustice a lot on WURD. And we actually have Bill Anderson here with us, and I want to give him a minute to shout at you, if you will, but just wanted to sort of press a minute. And we very rarely hear live from death row about what it feels like to be facing the death penalty every day for 30 years. And if it isn't too painful for you, I hope that you could give our audience a little bit of an idea, just a glimmer of an idea.
Well, first of all, welcome, Bill. It's been many years, I think maybe 10 or 15 years since I talked to you.
I'm sorry, I didn't know the mic was on. It has been a minute. And I didn't come in to hijack the interview. People want to hear from you. I just wanted to say, stay strong, man. God bless. We're always in support.
Thank you so much, brother. Well, it's like a little piece of hell. I mean, you're alone a lot. You're in a cell 22 hours out of a 24-hour day. And for many men, it's 24 hours and really weeks and months and years where they're literally in a cell by themselves, the size of the average bathroom. But, it's kind of like what people used to say when Malcolm said he was in prison and they would get shot. And he said, don't be shocked because I said I'm in prison, because we all in prison. As long as you live south of the Canadian border, you're in prison. And I say that to say Oscar Grant wasn't on death row, or was he? Amadou Diallo wasn't on death row, or was he? We could really list Sean Bell from New York. We could list names for a half hour, 2 hours, 10 hours. And none of these people were on death row. They were theoretically free. They were walking the street. They thought they were American citizens entitled to all the rights and privileges to which the Constitution grants them. But they didn't have a right to drive while black, or to walk down the street while black, or answer their door while they're black. Oscar Grant didn't have the right to get off a subway in California, in Oakland, while he was black. They were on death row. They didn't know it. But guess what? They were on death row. And until we change this system, we're all on death row, believe it or not.
Mumia, you know this event is coming up on the 9th, and folk are gathering at no more ironic a forum than the National Constitution Center. As you look at that event and the people who are going to give voice to these issues, and the folk who are coming and those who are not, what do you want people to take from it? What's the takeaway?
Well, that people should always speak out against any injustice affecting anyone. Martin Luther King said an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. And it is ironic that it's the Constitution Center. Because, you know, when it comes to the Constitution, all of us, not just myself, I mean, we get short shrift.
We have 60 seconds remaining.
We're the one people in this country who have never truly been given constitutional rights, despite what is written in the Constitution. It took them 100 years to decide, no matter what the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment said, that black people should vote. And we still get, look what happened in the year 2000. We still get denied the right to vote. So the Constitution is a beginning. It's a starting point, but it cannot be an end. We have to fight for all of our rights, all of our time, all of our lives.
Mumia, I know we've been given the 60-second warning, and so is there anything that you want to say that I haven't asked you about or that you think is important?
Well, I thank you for this opportunity and this brief time. It goes by so quickly. It is a pleasure, again, to hear your voice and to hear the voices of my brothers and sisters who are there, people who I love. It's on the move, longer, John Africa. I love you all.